watching The Producer's Room, a streaming web series featuring the creators behind the hit songs of today's music industry. Songwriters, music producers, and artists discuss their creative process as well as examining current issues and technologies in today's rapidly changing music business. Your host is producer, songwriter, and educator Dave Tuff. Welcome to The Producer's Room.
We're here with Corey, and Corey is tuning our drums. So tell us how you're doing this, Corey. You're using a new tool. What's it called?
The TuneBot.
The TuneBot. That's what I bought at NAMM this year, and it's working so good so far. I wanted an application that gave me a fundamental frequency so I could tune the snare or toms to the key of the song. And overall, is it effective there, Corey? Can you show us how it works?
It is effective.
All right.
So you basically just tap at each lug about an inch off from each point, and it's going to tell you either the frequency, you can hit note, it'll tell you what note it is, and then you can hit the middle of the drum
to get the overall.
And get the overall.
Show us how that works. So
it's about 313. It's about 312, 313. 315.
Cool.
317.
So you're almost the whole ballpark is
all right in
there.
The neighborhood.
And then show us how to get the overall pitch of the drum. We didn't point out that you're muffling the drum with your legs there, so just to make sure you get the top end. But you're getting your overall pitch, just holding it there and then hitting it. Cool. So we can tell the note of the song. So if you're a real control freak producer and you want the drum in the actual key of the song, like the root note, probably not a major third, maybe a perfect fifth, but major third, you might get into trouble. It's a non-diatonic chord, right, Corey? All right, well, that's good. And you're tuning all the drums today, right, for our drum shootout, or most of them.
Every single one. Every one.
And tell us what you think about Bruce Springsteen. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Better not.
No comment. All right, nothing like a good drummer checking his messages on a session, but it always happens. And this is round 2. And on round 2, we have tried some different things. We're still trying different snare drums, but that's really the only variable that's changing besides the mics. So we have a 87 in this room here with the door shut to get some rumblage, low endage right there in relation to the drum set that's there. This time we've used the Coles for the room mics, and they are angled they're a little bit above head height, angled towards the kit. We still have our 87 floor mic. We don't have the wall mic. We didn't really like that one. We got rid of the trash mic. It wasn't working, or the one on the floor. This time for the front kit, this is another trash mic. The front kit we're overly compressing. And this time instead of a 57, it's a 121. Still got the 47 in front. Still got the Audix on the kit. Still got all those bald mics, as we're calling them, are just pointing towards the kit. The other variable that's changed right now is we got a space pair of, I always forget the name of these. They're Corey's small diaphragm condensers. They're like really affordable, and they sound pretty darn good. We're going to actually A/B those against the real 84s, and then Eb is going to tell us what snare drum we have here in a minute, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll take a picture of the board. Okay, this is the setup list for round 2. Once again, kick in, got the Audix D6, kick out Fat 47 with the windscreen, snare 1 MXL 991 with a pad, wire 201 also on the top. So MXL 991 is a small diaphragm condenser. Snare bottom SM57, that's actually what we like the best because it had the most rejection and it wasn't so bright on the snares. Tom bottom and top, 421, 441 on all those. Hat, this time it's a KM84 instead of a SM7 like we had before. There it is. The first overheads, like I said, are a spaced pair of ECM 84s, which are pretty reasonable. R88 with the cloud lifter for the second pair of overheads. Room this time are the Coles. Room's not compressed, by the way. The trash mic 121, and the muffle mic. Trash mic 121 is heavily compressed. Muffle mic, floor mic aren't compressed, and those two last ones, the bald and alt bald, but pointed at different parts of the kit, are compressed fairly heavily. Hey guys, this is round 3 of our full drum kit test / snare test. This is a mic in the corner, basically a U87 and cardioid in the corner. We still have our Coles mics there as room mics here in Colombia Studio A. That's an iPad holder, that's not a mic, so if you wondered. This time we are trying, still have the R88 as the overhead in the middle of the kit, but we have KM84s spaced from the snare. In fact, I might move this one just a little bit. Well, that's pretty good actually, Corey, because you got some of the cymbals. But we have that one. We have 421's top and bottom tom. We have this one that's heavily compressed, and that one over there. If you can see it heavily compressed, we can't really see that one. KM84 there, heavily compressed, pointing towards the hat and the snare. Corey, tell us a little bit about the purpose of that mic, what it picks up there.
Picks up a lot of the attack on the beater.
Okay.
The kick drum. And you get a decent amount of hi-hat too, so
cool.
Depending on how you want to use it, you can really compress it, get the top end out of it or whatever.
Yeah, cool. So we got KM84s, not the 184s for our overhead. Still Audix in the kick. That's the one we like the best this time around. We like the Audix, we like the Beta 52, and we like the E602 Sennheiser. Those were our 3 favorites. We have a trash mic. Now it's a 57. We still have the floor mic there. Bottom snare, we're trying something a little different. We're trying a large diaphragm condenser this time. And this will still be a new set of snare drums. We're trying an Audio-Technica 4033 cardioid. Probably have to pad that out. And I think that's about it. So this is round 3. Let me go here and take a picture of our board real quick. So all of that good stuff you can see. R88 still has a cloud lifter. Like I said, this is now room far. Trash mic still has heavy compression on it. Still using the Coles for the rooms. We actually decided we like the Coles for overheads better than rooms, but I mean, neither is bad. It's just we think we liked them better for that. Okay.
Hey guys, welcome to Dave's Waves, and in this episode we're going to go ahead and finish out our drum shootout. We did 2 more rounds, and if you've watched the other episodes, we shot out kick drum mics, we shot out snare drum mics, and in the last Dave's Waves, I showed you a bunch of different techniques we tried on the full drum set. On the last Dave's Waves, I'd also auto-aligned everything. This time I just didn't have a chance to auto-align the second mic setup and the third mic setup. So negating that, you'll still be able to hear the differences between the mics that we switched. So what I wanted to play you is, first of all, just starting off, we kept the kick mic the same, just starting from the top. Kept the kick mic the same on round 2. I'll move over here. We kept the kick out mic the same. We kept the snare top the same. We kept the snare bottom. We had 2 snare tops. We kept them both the same. Snare bottom, we changed out on round 3. So let me let you hear that first with the snare mic combinations. So snare on round 2 would be something like this on the bottom with an SM57. Okay, and then we switched to Audio-Technica, I think it was a 4033 cardioid, large diaphragm cardioid condenser on the snare bottom. Different snare, but in general what you're going to notice is a lot more brightness as opposed to the dynamic mic. A lot more brightness on the bottom snare. What else? I think last time I played our 3 variations of hi-hats. We didn't change the kick mics or the hi-hat mics. We didn't change the tom mics. We did change the overhead, so let me let you hear that. Once again, it's not exactly comparing apples and apples, unfortunately, because we were also switching out some snare drums and trying those out. But at least you can kind of hear the mic characteristics. So this particular round was the Coles 4038 large diaphragm or mid diaphragm ribbon mics, and then we switched to those gauge mics. If you remember from our first couple episodes, we liked those gauge mics that were pretty cheap but affordable, but also really good. In fact, we preferred it over the KM84 in some circumstances. So we switched to the Gauge ECM 84s for the overheads. So in general, here are the Coles on the overheads. And then I'm going to flip over here where you can hear on round 2, you can hear the Gauge small diaphragm condensers. Okay, that's the Coles. Now let's move over to the Gauge. Once again, Coles. Gauge. Pretty nice sound there. Really, both have their purpose. You probably notice a little bit more low end on the Coles, obviously more high end on the small diaphragm condenser, or brightness if you want to look at it that way. And then let's see what other things we did a variation there of. On round 2, we switched it out and we used the Coles for the room mics. So let's go ahead and listen just to the room mics from round 1. And then I'll skip to round 2. So this is round 1. These are the Ashman Acoustics SOM50. Like I said, recreating the Neumann M50 sound. And then I'll switch to the Coles as room mics. And here come the Coles. Little heavy on that side, so let's even that out. So what we found with this kind of shootout between the ribbons as the rooms is, although we loved the Coles as overheads, we didn't like them as much for the room, only because the whole purpose of miking the room is to get the ambience, and ambience is found in the higher frequencies, or at least perceived ambience by the human ear. It's found in the higher frequencies, and the ribbons weren't bringing that out as much as the Omni condenser mics. So we dug the Omni condensers a little bit more. I think I explained all our trash mic options last time. The one variation we did on this round 2 is we switched the wall mic to a mic in the closet. So we actually put it in the closet, shut the door, etc., etc. So this one was the wall mic. Let me just review with you on round 1. It was a mic about 8 feet high, pointed right at the wall, far side of the drum set, which is a wooden diffuser. Okay, so we said, that really didn't add much than the rooms, already had in them. So we ended up trying another technique and putting that particular mic in the closet. So let's listen to that. So we really dug that, in that it gave us some low end, not a lot of high end, and some fullness, but it was still ambient fullness. So let me just let you, there's so many variables here, but let me let you in general hear, I'll mute the R88s, just the whole picture, and once again auto align's not on here, the whole picture between round 1 and round 2 with all those changes, and I'll just kind of play with the mics so you can see what they're doing. So round 1, just flipping in the middle here. Let's get rid of that hi-hat mic. Or you might want to hear the hi-hat mic, but I'll throw it in here in a minute. Round 2, different snares, so a little bit of variation, but overall. So the interesting things about those rounds is, because we switched, really, to me, it's a function of switching the overheads from ribbons to condensers and vice versa, switching the rooms from condensers to ribbons, it gives us a darker room sound but a more present picture of the drums up close, if that makes any sense, and vice versa between the two rounds. So let's do that one more time. So anyway, you get the idea there that that's kind of what happened. And then if we go to round 3, there's not too much other variation that we did there besides trying out some good snares or different snare drums. I think everyone's 2 favorite snares out of the shootout. Mine was the Keplinger snare, so let me let you hear that in case you're in the market for snare drums. And I actually ended up ordering one. It's that Gear Acquisition Syndrome because I loved it so much. I think it's a 5.5 by 14 Keplinger snare, the stainless steel. But man, I was like back in John Bonham land here. Just I love the low mids on that particular snare. Go ahead and mute the ambient mics. It was tasty. It had some low mids in it, but it wasn't abrasive at all. And then everyone else's favorite snare was this guy, which was tuned a little higher. I'll play him for you. Let's turn up that Bayer a little bit. To me, it's a little too spin doctory, but everybody liked that one besides me, so I got voted out. Any other lessons that we learned? One other quick lesson we learned is we did try changing out the beater from a felt beater to the John Robinson beater that he makes, which is a wooden beater. And it was pretty revealing that we did not, at least with the D6, we did not like the wooden beater because the D6 already gives us that top end. And if you add a beater that accentuates the top end a little bit more, it's kind of overkill. So let me let you hear that if nothing else. So here was the regular beater. I'll just play down here and I'll solo our kick mics. So that's like a hard felt beater. And then we switched to this JR beater. And everything started to sound like a basketball. So that's one lesson. At least when using a D6, you don't need a beater with that much top end. So I know a lot of guys will tape a credit card or whatever to the head, but if you have a mic that picks up that top end, you don't really need that. So anyway, I hope you guys got something out of this watching our shootout with drums. We did try out some different snare drums. Not sure if I'll have time to go through all those snare drums, but overall it was a very fun day and we learned a lot of good lessons with the drum set. So I want to thank once again all our assistants that were there. Corey Haddon and Anthony Scott and Tyler Murray and of course our drummer Eb. And thanks once again to Belmont University for letting us use the facilities and do the shootout. So hope you guys learned some stuff. Please subscribe to Producer's Room with Dave Tuff. We'll keep giving you more episodes like this and give me some comments on the videos as well. Hope you guys had fun during this week's episode of Dave's Waves, and I hope to see you next time.